Hello everybody, Dan here, the Dungeon Master for Dice by the Sword, and I thought I'd do a quick video today about all the homebrew rules that we're going to be using in our Nyxalia campaign. So, just so that you guys at home aren't kind of lost as to why we're asking for certain things to be rolled, or if a player decides to use one of these homebrew rules, you're not just stuck not knowing really what they're about. So the first one, and most notably, is the hero point homebrew rule. Now, what are hero points? So hero points represent a character's moments of unparalleled clarity or determination or inspiration. And it's basically a substitute for inspiration. They're a narrative resource that players can spend to achieve feats beyond their normal abilities. Unlike other resources such as spell slots or class features, hero points aren't tied to a specific ability or class. They are an equalizing force that every character can access. And what they do is they are heroic inspiration, which means that they reflect the effort of digging deep to perform a heroic act. And I'm sure you're asking why. So why am I encouraging or introducing hero points? And the purpose of them really is to, one, encourage creativity. So it allows players to think outside the box. So by using hero points in ways that can enhance their roleplay or problem solving, and it also encourages a mindset of seizing opportunities and making bold decisions during the game. And they also serve to highlight heroic moments, so they provide a tangible way for players to feel like heroes of the story, capable of extraordinary feats when it matters most. And, you know, it also promotes strategic use, and it's also reward risk-taking, so players are encouraged to attempt like high-risk, high-reward maneuvers, knowing that they have a tool to back them up. And I created them to basically take over from where inspiration is, because I feel like inspiration can be very limited, and there's nothing worse than using your inspiration to re-roll that 20-sided die because you've rolled low the first time, only to roll again and roll low again, and it kind of feels lackluster. So hero points fit into the system because they scale with the player's levels. So from levels 1 to 3 they get 1 hero point, from 3 to 5 they get an additional 1. So because of the scaling, it means that they remain relevant throughout the campaign. And again, they can customize what they do with a hero point based on a few things. So they are allowed to use these hero points to, say, re-roll the d20 they've just rolled, but they must use a second. So we're still keeping the inspiration relevant, but they also can boost their roll. So instead of re-rolling the d20, they can add +4 to a d20 roll before they even roll it. So let's say the rogue of the party really needs to succeed on this stealth check. If they've already got a +5 on their modifier and they can add a +4 before even rolling, +9 is a really heavy modifier with a heightened chance of being able to succeed on that check. Another thing they can do is they can gain an additional action on their turn. Now, this still follows the spellcasting rules, so for spellcasters, they still can only cast 1 spell per round, or per turn, sorry. But it gives them an additional action if they need it. They can boost their initiative if they want to. They can gain insight on a check that they're trying to do, so gain an advantage on an intelligence or a wisdom check. They can treat their next attack with advantage by using the steady aim ability. So all of these things they can do with their hero points just kind of heighten the gameplay a little bit more and gives them a little bit more to do with what is, in sense, their inspiration. Another rule that we use here at Dice by the Sword is the environmental healing modifier. So it's the long and short rest rule. So what this does is that when a character takes a long or short rest, the environment in which they rest can influence the amount of hit points they regain. The environment is divided into categories, each with its own modifier. So me, the DM, will determine the category of the environment based on the player's descriptions and the campaign setting. So these categories are like hospitable, so this would be an inn or a tavern or their own ship, for example. A moderate environment, it could include a campsite or a cave with potential dangers nearby. A hostile environment or a dire environment might be at the heart of a volcano or within a cursed tomb. And an unrestful environment is just somewhere they're not going to be able to rest. So a chase through the city or in the middle of an ongoing battle, you can rest, but you're not going to get any hit points back during that. Another homebrew rule that we use is the healing potion rule, though we've completely abolished needing to roll healing potions. You don't need to roll dice. A healing potion will heal you for 10 points, greater 20, and the superior 30. So they just heal for the maximum value of those potions. Another homebrew rule that we use here at Dice by the Sword is the death saving throw rule. So what I have at my table is that if a player goes down to 0 hit points and needs to roll their death saving throws, they do that privately. So they roll it behind a screen, or again in the comfort of their own homes, and they send the results to me privately and do not announce the results of the roll. Now, the reason I've implemented this is one of two things. So there's nothing worse than being, one, the player who has just got to 0 hit points, you're in the middle of a high intense combat situation, and the next roll you roll on your death saving throw is a 17. And the rest of the party go, well, you're okay for another 3 turns at least, or 2 turns at least, depending on the rolls. So they just forego trying to help you get back up to your feet. If the other players don't know what the result is, it incentivizes other characters to help that person, rather than going and having the result of the roll dictate that. We are also implementing a few other homebrew rules as well, so that we have a plethora of different rules for skills. So cooking, herbology, smithing, tinkercraft, all the rest of it, and they will come to light later on in the campaign. But we just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up as to some of the homebrew rules that we're working with here at Dice by the Sword, so that when we're playing and we're in the midst of a campaign and in the midst of a session, you guys aren't lost as to what is actually happening. Well, I hope that helps. That's all from me. Check out Nyxalia and Aetherbound Saga over on YouTube and Twitch on Sundays at 7 PM UK time, and take care of yourselves. Bye.